delay. Actually, I was having some other meeting, so I couldn't get back to you. Anyways, so shall we continue with the question paper discussion, which we have started in the last time, or you want me to have a general discussion because it's only 30 minutes which are left. So I guess only 16 participants are there. So in this situation, what we can do, I can give you general guidance, like if you are facing any like preparation related issues, or if you are facing any, we can say, the strategy related issues, you can ask me so that I can give you the strategies, because I wanted to discuss question paper, but most of the students have left the session. So shall we have a doubts about this? So we can start one by one if you have any doubts. Yes, Sat, we can start with you. So how is your
So
discussion
I
going?
don't have any out with, but I would say we should start with the discussion of the paper.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but only the students are not there.
Okay, so
Okay. So yes, no worries. I will have it in the next session. Don't worry. And I am expecting that the UPSC exam will get postponed. So don't worry about the time. So we have ample time for preparation. So don't worry about it. Most probably the exam is going to be postponed. So we'll cover all the topics and we'll cover all the syllabus. Don't worry about it. But if you have any like preparation related confusion, because we know that there are a lot of things which are there in the market. There are a lot of people saying a lot of suggestions. There are many things are what you can say told by the mentors, as well as what you can say the classes. There are many material available in the market. So the maximum student get confused in while preparing for the UPSC. So if you have any like doubts related to the related to your preparation, maybe it's related to the strategy, maybe it is related to the material, or maybe it's related to what you can say, and that's how to like plan your schedule, like a long-term schedule as well as the short-term schedule, that you can ask. Today we will have that, and then we'll go for the next session. We will have the question paper discussion. Because time is also less, and the students are also the number of the student also is very less. Yes, Kobi.
Yes, sir. Sir, better than that, can we have this newspaper discussion for half
Today's
an hour?
newspaper?
Yes, sir. That will be better.
Okay, chaliye, no problem. Then when we'll have the today's newspaper discussion. So we
Yes,
have
sir.
about 30 minutes, so we'll try to finish today's newspaper. Just give me a minute. I will download today's newspaper.
Okay, thank you, sir.
sir, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Can I please ask?
Yes, sure, sir. I mean, like,
Sir, how to make? Yes, sir. How to make notes for the maths GS1, especially ancient history, sir?
Ancient history. Okay. SAG,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
SAG
sir.
in GS paper 1, there is no topic called ancient history. In GS paper 1 topic, first topic is that the salient aspects of the India's art, architecture, literature. This is the topic. So while making notes
Yes,
for
sir.
while making notes for the paper 1, journalist paper 1, you should not make the notes for ancient history or medieval history. You should make notes of the salient aspects or salient features of the art, architecture, literature, and what you can say the painting and music of both ancient, medieval, and modern India. So it's not about only ancient or what you can say the medieval. The question may be asked about the modern music, modern painting, modern architecture, and modern what you can say the arts, right? So while making notes
Yes.
for the first topic of the general studies paper 1, you should make notes as per that, right? And then going to the next topic, that in paper 1 there is next topic called Indian national movement, and then various stages and also what you can say the contributions of the various personalities in the Indian national movement. That is what is the topic. So if you want to make
Yes.
notes for GS paper, it is always better to what you can say make topic wise notes. Topic wise notes means what? Suppose if the topic is that the contributions from the various parts of the world, that is what is the topic, then you should make a list of who were the contributors in the Indian national movement and what was their contribution. Now again, we can see question will be not like who were the contributors of the Indian national movement. Question will be based on one particular contributor. Like for example, suppose the contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose, or contribution of Bhagat Singh, or contribution of Mahatma Gandhi, contribution of You may be Lokmanya Tilak, or it may be contribution of Dadabhai Nauroji. Like Dadabhai Nauroji has played a very important role in the first phase of the national movement, that is the moderate phase of national movement. So the question will be based on personality, and question will be based on the issues, right? So significant event dash. You can see the syllabus says that a significant event in the modern Indian history, then issues of that significant event, personalities. That's how you should make a, what you can say, the notes. So while making the notes, how you should make significant event, like for example, the revolt of 1857 is a significant event. Then second, who are the personalities associated with that significant event, and what are the issues related to that significant event. That's what you need to, what you can say, make notes like by. And again, in exam, you never know how the UPSC will frame the question. The depending upon how the tone of the question, you have to mold your material, you have to mold your content and write the answer. So always make sure that while making notes in the, for the mains, you are making notes in bullet points, and you can recall those notes, you can recall those points, and you can use that points in writing the answer of your, what you can say, writing the answer of your, what you can say, the questions. Fine. Is it clear, Saad? How to
Yes,
make?
sir, yes.
I will be taking
Yes.
a separate session. I will be taking a separate session how to make notes for paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3, as well as paper 4 after your prelims exam is over.
Okay,
Fine.
sir.
So
Thank you
right
so
now,
much.
I think all of you should focus more on the prelims exam, because qualifying prelims is the first stage. As I know, there is a very less time between the prelims and mains. You should, like, normally the ideal strategy is that first you should prepare for mains and then you should prepare for prelims. But this is not a right time to prepare for mains now. The time is over now. You should focus more on the prelims, and after prelims we will try to, what we can say, finish the syllabus. Because see, अगर आपको right approach मिल गया, right strategy अगर मिल गई ना, तो उन 3-4 महीनों में भी आपका मेंस का प्रिपरेशन हो सकता है. It is quite possible to cover the whole syllabus of the mains even between these 3 to 4 months gap between prelims and mains. But provided if you have a right approach, right attitude, and also the right material and the right way of preparation. So with like मेंस प्रिपरेशन के लिए 4 months काफी है. बट क्या होता है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम सिंस स्टूडेंट्स डू नॉट नो हाउ टू प्रिपेयर, देन इट गेट्स लेंथियर, like it gets 1 year or 2 years. But if you know exactly what you are supposed to do, if you have a clear cut strategy and clear cut, what you can say, the understanding of the syllabus, of the expectation, and the way you need to write the answer, then believe me, you can prepare for mains also within these 3 to 4 months. Right? So right now, don't focus on the mains, focus more on the prelims now, because I know that, again I will telling you, अगर आप अच्छे से preparation करोगे, like अगर right strategy से preparation करोगे, within 3-4 months preparation also you can qualify the prelims. There are many examples where people have qualified prelims exam within just 3 to 4 months preparation. I have seen many examples where they have qualified it. Yes, Shamama, you have raised hand. If you want to ask something, you can ask me. I have downloaded the question newspaper with me now. So before I start newspaper, you can ask me.
Hello.
Yes, continue.
I have a question about I have not studied art and culture.
Art and
So
culture.
I don't feel it so productive. I have sir, art and culture.
Art and culture for
I
prelims or
have read
yes, Shamama. Art and culture for prelims or art and culture for mains? हेलो.
हाँ सर प्रीलिम्स के लिए.
हाँ, प्रीलिम्स के लिए तो आर्ट एंड कल्चर, देखिए देयर आर सो मेनी सोर्सेस, जितने भी सारे सोर्सेस है उसमें से हार्डली 1 या 2 क्वेश्चन आता है. They are very bulky, so what you can say, the material which is available in the market. There are some good books also. That books have very big information. But as I told you, in last 2-3 years, can you please mute yourself? Yeah. So as I told you that in last 2-3 years, UPSC has a policy of not asking questions from the popular material or the popular sources. So even if you read it from those popular material, I don't think it will be more productive, as you rightly said. So better है, अगर आपको करना ही है, अगर art and culture अगर करना है, तो as I told you that there is one source, that is Manorama Yearbook. Manorama Yearbook में concisely छोटे से मतलब in a precise what you can say, some information related to the art and culture is given. So अगर करना ही है तो आप वहां से करिए. Otherwise, no need of what you can say going for in detailed study about the art and culture in the from the popular material which are available in the market. Fine, Shamama? Check it. So we have question paper, today's newspaper, sorry. So can you all see the newspaper? Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, chaliye. So here we can see there is one GST Council meeting today. So as we have already known that in the basics we have studied a GST Council is created to decide about the GST rate, and GST Council meets after every 3 months. And this GST Council meet is mentioned that the economy is being squeezed by the COVID. Salaries on hold because salaries have been also not by given by many governments in state governments in India. So state governments says SOS to center. So Maharashtra to Tripura, Punjab to Karnataka states forced to slash capital spending as revenue taker beating. So now we can see in the GST Act, the central government was supposed to give the compensation in case of revenue losses by the state governments after the implementation of the GST. And due to some reasons in the last, what you can say, 2-3 quarters, union government is not in a position to give back, not in a position to what I can say, give back the compensation to the state government. So that is what is mentioned here. So just read it out. Today there will be a GST Council meeting. So state government will demand for the compensation. That is what is explained here. So states are centered to keep what? For states, GST accounts for almost 42% of their own tax revenues. With the center yet to make GST compensation payments for last 4 months, many states have been forced to put on hold their capital spending and are even struggling to pay monthly salaries of the staff. So can anybody tell me the monthly salaries of the staff is a part of the capital spending or it is a part of the revenue spending or revenue expenditure or capital expenditure? If you have studied
Revenue, sir.
yeah, it is
Yes,
a part of
sir.
revenue. So एक तो government is supposed to spend more on capital creation, but एक तो capital creation पे तो हो ही नहीं रहा है, but they are not also able to fulfill their revenue expenditure also. They are not able to give the loans, sorry, salaries to their government staff. That is what is mentioned here. Right hand side, there is one more article about the NEET and JEE department exam. So 7 opposition CM, that is opposition CM means opposition political party. So we always know that whenever is two different political parties are ruling at the center and the states, so obviously there will be a clash of what you can say the interest between the union government as well as the state government. So there are 7 CMs in India which belongs to opposition political parties. So these 7 opposition CMs say will move to Supreme Court to seek a NEET and JEE deferment. Because recently Supreme Court has said that recently the union government has decided to carry on the exams or to conduct the exams of NEET and JEE. But the 7 because many state governments are not in a position to what you can say conduct the exams, and as we can see that even the Maharashtra Public Service Commissions have deferred their exam because of the bad situation in Maharashtra. So that is why many CMs are calling for deferment of the exam. So that is what is mentioned here. So this article may be helpful for you in understanding union-state relations or the issues related to federalism. So in paper 2, there is one topic called issues related to federalism. Federalism means the separation of power between the union government and the state governments. While the left-hand side, this article will be helpful for you in understanding the union-state finance relations. This is also comes under the federal issue, but here it is a financial issue, and here it is about the administrative issue. Got it? Check it. Now going to the next article. Ready to wait for issues to be addressed, willing to be on panel to chart way Azad. So Azad is what you can say the political leader of the Indian National Congress. There is some debate going on within the Congress that who should become the president of the Congress next time. So just read this article just to understand what is happening in one of the India's most important political party, that is Congress. Okay, then here there is one more article that is over 3,040 days, 60,000 cases in state police forces and CAPF. Maharashtra was checked. This is about the Maharashtra information that is not important for you. I'll go to the next page. Directly, I will go to the editorial. If there is any editorial today, because we have seen that in yesterday's newspaper, there was one very, very important, what you can say, the news came regarding the Reserve Bank of India's report on the Reserve Bank of India's report on the state of the economy, and we have seen that as per the report of the Reserve Bank of India, the economic recovery is going to be delayed, and the consumption is going to be reduced, and they have given certain strategies and certain solutions also, that how the government can recover back from the economic slowdown. That is what is explained here. So can directly I'll go to the today's editorial page. Okay, there is one more article. Don't reveal panel proceedings to media, Venkaiah tells member. So we know that there are various types of panels, there are various types of parliamentary committees, and in paper 2, there is one topic called privileges and given to the parliament and issues related to the privileges given to the parliament. So here you can see that there are certain discussion, there are certain what you can say the information which is being given to the panel members of the parliamentary committees. So that information are confidential, that information are what you can say the secure information. It should not be given, it should not be told to the media. That is what Venkaiah Naidu. Venkaiah Naidu is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, is of course he is also the vice president, but whatever he said here, he said in a capacity as a chairman of a Rajya Sabha, because the members of the Rajya Sabha are asked to not to reveal the panel proceedings to the media. That is what is explained here. Okay, now going to the next page. So this topic you may, what you can say, this topic you may, what you can say, read it as a part of what you can say the function of the parliament, parliamentary function. There is one topic in paper 2 called a function of the parliament. So how the parliament function, that you will come to know after reading this article. Okay, government moves to amend the laws for delimitation in northeastern states. So you need to go and check it out. What is the meaning of this delimitation of the constituencies? If you don't know what is the delimitation of the constituencies, you go and check it out. And why government wants to do the delimitation in the northeastern state? That is what is explained here. So just read it out. Okay. So today's editorial is related to the economic issues of the country. So there is a long road ahead. RBI points to bleak prospects for consumption and investment in near term, underscores need for government support. So the annual report of the Reserve Bank of India released on Tuesday affirms that the recovery from the current crisis will be painful and protracted process, while leading economic indicators do suggest that the economy has bounced back from the lows observed in April. The report corroborates the view that the economic activities are plateauing. Plateauing means that they are becoming flat at lower levels, and at the normalization of the activities to the pre-COVID levels is unlikely in the near term. So what is happening that Reserve Bank of India was expecting a V-shaped economic, what you can say, the growth or V-shaped recovery of the economy, but this is not happening now. So that is what is explained here. So just read this article, cut this article and put it in paper 2, topic growth. So what are the issues related to the economic growth of the country is explained here. Right? So that all you can see, that all you can, what you can see here. Okay? Now again, recent details about the NIA, that is truth about the Pulwama, is also explained about it. So this article will helpful for you in understanding the internal security challenges of the country and how the National Investigating Agency is trying to, what you can say, find out the evidences against such type of terror related cases, that you will come to know after reading this article. So read this article, just read it out. No need of, what you can say, taking any points, or no need of cutting this article and putting it in paper 3, topic security. But after reading this article, you will get some points related to the internal security challenges. There is one topic in paper 3, sorry, that internal security challenges and the role of state and non-state actors in the internal security challenge. So there is something called state and non-state actors. So can anybody explain me what is the meaning of state and non-state actors? That is the challenges created by the state and non-state actors for the internal security of India. So what is the meaning of that state and non-state actors? Hello, anyone remembers, or anyone knows what is the meaning of this What is the meaning of this state and non-state actors? All of you have the syllabus with you. You can just check it out. This topic is there in paper 3. Okay, so the meaning of these state actors and non-state actors is that when some of the internal security challenges are created by the foreign, what you can say, by the foreign elements. So it may be by officially by the the organizations which are working under the state, like for example ISI, which is an inter-service intelligence of the Pakistan. ISI is a Pakistan government agency, and also, of course, there are certain what you can say the internal security challenges are created by ISI. But apart from ISI, there are some other organizations also like Jaish-e-Mohammed or Jamaat Dawa, and there are some other organizations which also tries to create some internal security challenges in India. So that's what you need to understand. So here we can see that recently the Pulwama attack, as per the NIA's what you can say the charge sheet and as per the NIA's investigation, it is claiming that the Jaish-e-Mohammed was involved, or it was what you can say linked with the Pulwama attack, and it was carried by the Jaish-e-Mohammed organization. So that's what you will come to know after reading this article. Fine. Then right hand side there is one more article. Let me check it out what that article is. This article is about the UGC versus the states. So now we can see recently there is a controversy going on between the state government as well as UGC. UGC wants to conduct the exam, and then only they wants to give the degrees to the students, while the state government wants to what you can say cancel the exam and give the degrees to the students on the basis of their past performance. So the controversy is going on between UGC versus state. That is what is explained here. So in paper 2, there is one topic called education in India. Especially this problem is related to the higher education. So the time to hold the baby and throw out the bath water, that is what is explained here. So just read it out. The national competitive exams such as JEE, NEET and GATE have become the de facto standards for education. The folly of this is well known. So there are certain problems related to these these competitive exams related to the entrance exam, especially in the JEE, NEET and GATE. So the folly of this exam is well known. They adversely impact the overall development of our youth. They encourage coaching and intervene in the state's ability to provide doctors and engineers from the local population, that distort the meaning and practice of science, and yet their impact on students and society has not been formally measured are accepted by MHRD, that is Minister of Human Resource Development. The most exceptional is the UGC NET, the qualifying exam for college teachers. So you know that many teachers who qualify NEET, in spite of qualifying NEET, these teachers do not have the quality to teach at the higher education. So there are certain problems, there are certain issues related to the such type of competitive exams, entrance exam. We can say many candidates who qualify this exam, they really don't have what we can say that qualities which a professor should have. So that is what is explained here. You can read this article. What are the problems of the higher education system in India? I can take some points from here. Sorry, and you can put it in paper 2 topic education. Right? There are 2 topics in paper 2: education and health and human resource. These are the social sectors that we need to what you can say keep eye on. Any doubts about this article? Okay. Now going to the next article.
No, sir.
So the next article is written by Manishankar Iyer. Manishankar Iyer was the ex Ministry of Panchayati Raj in India. So he has written one article. He was one of the Congress leader also, and he was expelled from the Congress after his statement which he has given for the Narendra Modi. So to the extent that Congress letter writers were motivated by personal interest, they may have lost. To the extent they sought a hearing in the party interest, they have prevailed. Now this is actually the internal matter of the Congress political party that is not required for us to read. Just leave it out. But if you have interest in politics, you can read it out. Right hand side, there is one article that is taking jobs closer to people. The article is written by Jitendra Singh. So Jitendra Singh is the Minister of State, Prime Minister Office, that is PMO, also personnel. Obviously, Jitendra Singh is the responsible person for IAS, like the Ministry of Personnel, under which the IAS officers work. Then public grievances. So he has written an article about what you can say how jobs can be created in India. So taking jobs closer to people, that is what is mentioned here. So for employers and job aspirants, National Recruitment Agency and Common Eligibility Test promises convenience and transparency. The government is trying to create a common exam structure as well as a common eligibility test for the education, higher education, as well as for the jobs in the government. So this is the news intervention. So there is one topic in paper 2 called intervention in the various sectors of the economy, various sectors and issues related to design and implementation of the policy. So this is a policy that National Recruitment Agency is a new policy. While common eligibility test for all the exams is also a new policy. So what are the issues related to this new design and new, what we can say, the implementation that you need to come to know after reading this. Now, obviously, this article is written by the Ministry of the Government. Then obviously, whatever is explained here in this article will be positive sides of this National Recruitment Agency and Common Eligibility Test. So maybe tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow, there will be some article which may give you the loopholes or the issues related to the designs of these policies that you will come to know after, like that you will get maybe day tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. But here you can take the pros of creation of such type of, what you can say, the common eligibility test as well as the common recruitment agency. Fine. Check it. Now here there is one more article called unserviced sector. Service sector driver of India's growth has been left out of center's relief package. So recently we can say that the government has given relief packages to farmers, relief packages to manufacturer, relief packages to micro, small and medium enterprises. But there is no any such type of relief packages given to the service sector of the economy. So that is what is explained here. And we know that service sector contributes the largest share in the GDP of the country. Anyone knows what is the total share of the service sector in the total GDP of the country? That
So it
around
is more than 50%.
yeah, it is around,
It is more than
yeah, right.
more than 50.
It is around 55%, like around 55% of the total GDP is what you can say shared by the service sector. So if you ignore the service sector, if you do not give any relief package to the service sector, which can act as a driver of the India's growth, has been left out of the center relief package. That is what is explained here. So maybe question can be asked in the mains exam related to the why the service sector has not been given what you can say the more impetus. So that you can take some points, you can take this point and you can write your answer in the mains exam. So this is one point that the government should focus more on the service sector, which can act as a driver for the India's growth. Now in explain page, there is something called vaccine nationalism. So read it out. There are various types of nationalisms are there. Now today they have talked about the vaccine nationalism. So just read it out. Okay, so what RBI, why RBI is saying rupees 7631 crore to its contingency fund? So what is this contingency fund? Why it is created? Why it is done? That you need to read it out. So question can be asked in the prelims exam about this contingency fund. Check. Now here there is one article that there is one bill which is the government is planning to introduce about the marriageable age. So the government is planning to, what you can say, make marriageable age for what you can say for both men and women. And now you can see in India the marriageable age for male is 21 and for female is 18. So the government wants to, what you can say, make it equal for both. Even they want to increase the marriageable age of women from 18 to 21. So why it is important, and that is what is explained. So I'm expecting a question in mains exam about these recent amendments and recent protocols of the policies. They may be asked in paper 1 topic, issues related to the women empowerment in India. So PM has announced a panel to fight malnutrition in young women and ensure they get married at right age, and look at how the two are linked. So how the marriage age and the malnutrition is related to each other. That is what is explained here. So question may be asked in the mains exam related to this special issue of the marriageable age and the malnutrition, as well as what you can say the health of the woman, that is explained here. So just read it out and cut this article and put it in paper 1 topic, India's what you can say issues related to the women empowerment in paper 1 topic. Now going to the economics, today's economics page we will see. Yes. So recently the government was trying to create a health ID like the Aadhaar ID. So draft health data management policy of NDHM, that is national, what you can say, the national data human, what is this NDHM? NDHM is National Digital Health Mission, sorry. So the policy has been created. So health ID data privacy, patients to be able to withdraw consent anytime. So there are certain issues, there are certain what you can say the policies, and there are certain issues related to this design of creation of the or the digitalization of the health inventory. That is what is explained here. So read this whole article, cut this article, and put it in paper 2 topic health, because creation of this national data health of a digital health mission and data is of course is a good initiative, because it will help in make us creating some policies related to the health issues of India. But at the same time there are some issues, there are some problems, there are some what you can say the data privacy issues related to this NDHM. So that is what is explained here. So read this article, cut this article, and put it in paper 2 topic health. Okay, so then growth in disposable income of households may enter negative zone. So disposable income means what? The income which can be spent on discretionary what you can say the items. So this is going to be declined. This is going to be negative zone in financial year 21. That is what is mentioned here. So just read it out. You need to know what is the meaning of disposable income. Question can be asked in the prelims exam about the meaning of the disposable income, or consider the following statements regarding the disposable income. So just today you have to go and check it out, what is the meaning of this disposable income and how this disposable income plays an important role in the economic growth of the country. Okay. So export preparedness index 2020 drawn up by Niti Aayog in partnership with Institute for Competitiveness. It says that most of the states failed to address the three main issues about the export. So Niti report on export preparedness. So just read this article. Question can be asked in the mains exam about what are the problems, why our exports are not increasing. That question can be asked in the mains exam. What are the problems? What are the main issues related to the export? And what Niti Aayog is suggesting to encourage the export that you can get, right? So cut this article and put it in paper 3 topic issues related to mobilization of the resources, because export is again one of the important issue of the mobilization of the resources. That is what is explained, that is what is you need to read here. So because you need to read this article and you need to read this article and you need to what you can say understand what are the problems and what are the issues of the export of fish, and why India is not prepared properly related to the increase of the export. So that is what is called Export Preparedness Index 2020. Okay. So now here the state-wise ranking is created, that which state has what you can say more preparedness related to the export. Here it is mentioned that Gujarat tops the ranking of the NITI in the what you can say in this export preparedness index. Anyways, can you tell me why nowadays the word Niti Aayog is not used? Only Niti is used. Is there any like grammatical or is there any what you can say that linguistic angle to this particular aspect? That why the newspaper are using only Niti and not Niti Aayog?
So I think there's some linguistic. Earlier they were using Niti Aayog Commission something, but after that they were using Niti Aayog. But now they are using only Niti.
Why? What is that linguistic like angle of not using Aayog and why only using Niti now?
Because sir, National Institute for Transforming India, Aayog. So like it doesn't make it is not making any sense. I think so, but I don't exactly know the reason.
Yeah, you're right, Omar. Actually, in Niti, already the term institution is used. So, National Institution for Transforming India. So, when institution word is already used in the Niti, then why you need to use the word Aayog again? There is no need of what you can say using Aayog, and that is why nowadays, no one like nowadays the newspaper are not using the word Aayog, they are only using Niti. But again, it's not that UPSC may not ask this question, just a general curiosity I have discussed with you. But anyway, so this is all about for the today's what you can say the newspaper. All of you read the articles which I have suggested to read and cut the article which I have suggested to read And again, I hope that this type of reading and this type of newspaper cutting and this type of linking the syllabus with the newspaper, like which newspaper article is related to which part of the syllabus of GS paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3, that you need to have a clear cut idea about it. Because if you do in this way, in coming 1 year, you will have a lot of material, you will have a lot of content, you will have a lot of what is the points to write your answer in the mains exam. And it needs to be in a segregated manner. You need to have a segregated material for issues related to health, issues related to education, issues related to governance, issues related to security, issues related to disaster management, issues related to growth, issues related to taxation, like all the topics which are there in general studies paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. You need to have a segregated material, so it will helpful in revisioning. Like someone has asked me question that what should be a revision strategy for mains. So before revision, you need to have a, what you can say, you need to have a content for the mains. And for making the notes, how to make the notes for the mains, definitely I'm going to discuss with you maybe after your prelims exam. But right now you focus more on the prelims now, right? So we'll discuss more prelims questions in the next session. If you want, just I will arrange more sessions, how to, what you can say, study for the prelims exam, how to, what you can say, qualify the prelims exam with, what you can say, with I don't say it will be a little effort, but it will be a kind, what you can say, the smart effort. You need to have a smart effort for qualifying the exam. Prelims do not need hard work. Prelims need, what you can say, the prelims needs a right approach and right strategy and right temperament in the exam hall, that how you are going to solve the questions, how you are going to take the decision in exam hall, that which one is the correct answer and which one is the wrong answer, on the basis of the knowledge whatever you have, right? Chaliye. So
Yes, sir.
so shall we stop it here today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, chalo. So probably a day after tomorrow we'll continue, and let's see if it is possible for like to arrange a regular session of newspaper discussion, maybe for half an hour. So just request with the management that I'm ready to give half an hour for newspaper discussion every day, because if you read newspaper every day, then it will be more useful and that will be more meaningful. If you skip one day newspaper, then obviously it will be not that much useful if you have a gap in between. So I don't know what are your other engagements, what other faculties or maybe like what other mentors are taking with you. I don't have any idea about it. But if it is possible in that schedule to keep half an hour every day for newspaper discussion, I will come only for the newspaper. You can, what you can say, go for other mentors for other subjects or other, what you can say, the topics. But I can help you in understanding the newspaper for half an hour, because without understanding newspaper, I'm very sure you will not be able to write answers in the mains as well as in the prelims section. Fine. So just check with the management if it is possible for what you can say, to have a session every day for the newspaper for at least half an hour. Okay?
Yes, that will be helpful, sir.
Yeah, check.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.